I believe that Islam Makhachev will lose to Ian Garry by way of knockout at UFC 330. And you might be thinking that's crazy, like that goes against the narrative, the casual, usual narrative. But things are changing in the world of MMA all the time, and in the UFC, the MMA gods have a special way of just stirring the pot, and just handing out L's where you thought there'd be W's and vice versa. So 2026, I've heard it say, is the year of the fraud check. It is the year of the upset. And we've seen upsets. I believe I called two of the upsets, that being Justin Gaethje and Alex Pereira. And they lost those fights because they went up into a new division and had to contend with monsters that they had no idea were there. Alex Pereira in the form of Cyril Gahn, and Ilia Topuria in the form of Justin the Highlight Gaethje, dude, or what I call the new age Dan Henderson. And both those guys learned their lesson, I would hope, right? But time will tell. So now we have the same lesson being learned with Islam Makhachev, right? Because I'm pretty certain that Islam Makhachev has not fought anyone like Ian Garry. And that's fair, because you can say that no one has fought anyone like anyone they've fought. It's always a different person that you're having to contend with. Yeah, different skill sets, different IQ in terms of fighting, just different variables that you have to deal with that change. And I do believe that to be the case for Ian Garry. I believe that Ian Garry has enough tools in terms of stopping or stifling grappling opportunities for his opponent. I think he has enough of those tools, but where he really shines rather is distance management. Distance management in tandem with striking. He's clean. He's effective. He's accurate. He's relentless, honestly, but he's relentless in a very cerebral way. There are times where he can unload, but even when Ian Garry unloads on a motherfucker, it's tactical, and I do appreciate that about him. I know a lot of people give him hate in the MMA community for whatever reason. There's a lot of things going on about him, but in terms of the fight game, Ian Garry is he's wonderful. Like it's like the sweet science of mixed martial arts. The type of shit that he's done so far in his career, and not too many knockouts, not too many finishes, but like every single time he's in there, he's just better. He's better prepared. He's better instinctively. He's better in terms of shot selection or mixing it up for his opponent and really giving them different looks and really just like fucking the game up with what the things that he can present it and how he does present it. Like he is the only person that I've seen throw like a actual like a painful looking spinning heel kick to the leg, to the shin, and like it was fucking clean, man. It was really clean against Carlos Prates, and he dominated Carlos Prates. He completely nullified Carlos Prates' game. He nullifies everybody's game that he fights. Now, here's how I see this happening between him and Islam Makhachev, right? I see Islam Makhachev going in. Yeah, I'm not saying that Islam isn't humble or anything like that, but going into this fight, with him having the reputation that he is, accumulated thus far, and like that means something. Like whether you are the most disciplined, like the most strict and stoic fighter, like the fact that you have beaten so many high class athletes in your career, and you're now the champion, is going to get to you. It's going to be there. Like it's just a reality for someone that holds the belt or holds any title like that. And heavy is the head that wears the crown. I think Islam Makhachev is personally, mentally strong enough to get past that. But what happens if Islam tries to implement his ground game but fails to do so? One thing that I have noticed or experienced in my life from watching martial arts, or specifically mixed martial arts, and also being a practitioner for a while when I was a kid, is that people with long extremities are very, very, very formidable grapplers if they know how to use their length, to get out of situations, to get into situations. There's a lot that people with long arms, long legs can do in the world of grappling. And when you see it go against these taller guys, I do believe that it has a lot to do with these taller guys not really training for certain situations as taller guys in grappling positions, that would benefit them, like that would help them out and help them use the advantages that they have. Now, from what I've seen of Ian Garry, is that he understands his body. He understands distance. It's not going to be easy to get in close to him. If you do try to rush in to get close to Ian Garry, you are going to be looking at some heinous shit. Some heinous shit. Some heinous stuff will be coming your way. Guaranteed. Like you really have to work your way in to getting close to Ian Garry. You have to fucking cut off the cage. You have to fucking press the pace forward, like very, very intelligently. Because he's a very great striker, man. He's accurate as all hell. He's dynamic. He throws a lot of different things. He might try to take down Islam. Who knows? Ian Garry is capable of doing a lot of things, and he really seems as if he's one of those dudes in there, like sort of like a Cyril Gahn. He's like one of those dudes that it's just like it's a different thing when you're actually in there with him, right? Like the way that he employs his form of attack and defense and distance management and grapple defense and grapple offense is like really a good, it's awesome to see. You know what I mean? There was a time where people referred to my personal favorite fighter of all time, Dan Henderson, as Decision Dan Henderson. But Decision Dan Henderson, his career did not end at the decisions that he was known for early on in his career, relatively early on in his career. All it takes is one fight, and another one, and another one. Ian might not have the most, or maybe any finishes on his in his UFC record. I don't know. I don't think that he has like any finishes actually, but he might not have any finishes. But wins by submission, wins by knockout. Yeah, but not in the UFC, right? He doesn't have any. Yeah, finishes in the UFC. Oh, more. Oh yeah. All right, 2 KOs. That's okay. those two KOs aside, like a lot of the decisions that he's involved in, dude, he's controlling a lot of this shit. And for all anyone knows, man, this could be Ian Gary's true breakout moment, where he slays Islam Makhachev, and it's gonna be like in like a weird freak way. Like Islam has great striking. Islam does not have the level of striking that Ian Garry does. And Ian Garry is such a fighter with his distance management and his grappling defense that you are going to run into shit if you are trying to get close to him quickly. You will run into knees, you will run into shins, you're gonna run into elbows, punches, you're gonna run into all types of shit. And if you're not running anything, like you might charge in to find that he is not where you thought he might be. He really turned on a dime, got his angle right, and he's teeing off on the side of your head at that moment. Ian Garry is very elusive as well, and like he has a very, very smart way of picking his shots. I think that those shots, I feel like Islam Makhachev will not be able to take him down as easily as he thinks he is, and I think it will discourage him, and I think it will lead him into scenarios where he's forced to just engage with Ian Machado's fucking like really cerebral way of breaking people down with the strikes, breaking people down with this distance management, making them miss, beating up their arms, beating up their legs, throwing that he throws a lot of kicks, throws a lot of hard, perfectly formed roundhouses. Doesn't matter if it hits you in the body. Doesn't matter if it hits you in the head. If it hits those arms, it's good enough for him, and he just keeps throwing it. And your arms get tired, and then you end up looking like Carlos Prates towards the end of that fight. Carlos Prates was really getting banged up. I think Ian Garry takes it. I think Ian Garry becomes the UFC welterweight champion, and I think he reigns for a while, actually. But just my opinion,